What if I told you that the single most dangerous problem for your legs after 60 isn't arthritis or stiffness, it's weakness? Yes, weak leg muscles are the #1 predictor of falls, fractures, and even loss of independence in older adults. Research shows that once you pass 50, you lose 1–2% of muscle strength every year unless you do something about it. But here's the surprising truth. You don't need a gym membership or heavy weights to protect your legs. In this video, I'll reveal why weak legs are such a silent threat, the mistakes most people make when trying to fix it, and the simple steps you can start today to stay strong and independent. So let's start by looking at why weak legs become such a serious problem after 60. After 60, weak legs don't just mean slower walking or trouble climbing stairs. They set off a chain reaction that affects your entire health. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in people over 65, and more than 300,000 seniors in the U.S. are hospitalized each year for hip fractures alone. And the root cause, in many cases, is not brittle bones, but legs too weak to catch the body when balance is lost. It goes beyond physical danger. Once an older adult falls, the fear of falling again often leads them to stop moving as much. That reduced activity causes even faster muscle loss, slower metabolism, more fat storage, and even higher risk for heart disease and dementia. It becomes a vicious cycle. And here's the frustrating part. Many seniors try to fix the problem, but they unknowingly make critical mistakes that actually make their legs weaker. Let's take a look at the most common ones. When seniors notice their legs getting weaker, many try to solve it, but they often fall into the same traps. First, they rely only on walking. Walking is healthy, but it doesn't build back the strength in your thighs and calves that actually prevent falls. Second, some people avoid exercise altogether out of fear, thinking they might injure themselves. But avoiding movement only accelerates muscle loss. Third, others focus only on stretching or yoga. Flexibility is good, but without resistance training, the legs remain fragile. And finally, many seniors try to exercise by doing too much at once, pushing too hard, too fast. This often leads to knee or hip pain, and then they stop completely. If you've ever found yourself making one of these mistakes, leave a comment below. I'd love to know how many of you have struggled with this, and it might help someone else realize they're not alone. So what is the single best way to rebuild strong, reliable legs after 60? It's something so simple you can do it anywhere. The sit-to-stand exercise. Here's how it works. Sit on a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the ground. Cross your arms over your chest, lean forward slightly, and stand up without using your hands. Then, slowly sit back down with control. Repeat this 8–10 times, rest, and do 2–3 sets a day. Why this exercise? Because it mimics the exact movement that seniors struggle with most getting up from a chair, toilet, or bed. It strengthens the thighs, hips, and core all at once, while also training balance. And best of all, it requires no equipment. Even studies from the British Journal of Sports Medicine confirm that the ability to rise from a chair without using your hands is a strong predictor of longevity and independence. But to really understand why this works so well, we need to look at the science of muscle loss and how the body responds when you challenge it, even in small ways. Here's why that simple sit-to-stand exercise is so powerful. After 60, your body goes through a process called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Each decade after midlife, your muscle fibers shrink, especially the fast-twitch ones in your legs that help you catch yourself when you trip. But muscles are not gone forever. When you do sit to stand or any resistance movement, you activate muscle protein synthesis, your body's natural repair and rebuild process. Even light effort signals your cells to recruit more fibers, strengthen the neuromuscular connection, and improve balance. There's also a hidden metabolic benefit. Stronger leg muscles act like sugar sponges, pulling glucose out of your bloodstream and lowering insulin resistance, which is why leg strength is tied not only to mobility but also to lower risk of diabetes and heart disease. In short, training your legs, even with something as basic as standing up from a chair, creates a ripple effect across your entire body. Better strength, steadier balance, faster metabolism, and longer independence. So let's bring it all together. When we think about leg problems after 60, most people imagine arthritis, swollen veins, or circulation issues. But the truth is, the number one leg problem isn't those, it's weakness. Weak legs are a silent thief. They don't just make you slower or less steady. They set the stage for falls, fractures, fear of moving, and eventually the loss of independence. Every single year, millions of older adults end up in the hospital, not because their bones suddenly became brittle overnight, but because their legs didn't have the strength to protect them when they slipped or stumbled. Weakness in the legs is not just a physical limitation, it's a gateway to losing freedom, confidence, and quality of life. And that's why it matters so much to address it now, before it's too late. Here's the hopeful part. Weakness is not a life sentence. Muscle responds at every age. Even in your 70 seconds or 80 seconds, your body can rebuild strength if you challenge it the right way. You don't need expensive equipment, a personal trainer, or hours at the gym. What you do need is consistency. And one of the simplest yet most powerful exercises you can start today is the sit to stand. This single movement mimics what you do every day, getting up from a chair, the bed, or the toilet. By practicing it daily, you train the very muscles that keep you mobile and independent. Over time, it builds balance, steadiness, and the confidence to keep moving without fear. Stronger legs don't just prevent falls, they open the door to freedom. Freedom to walk with friends, climb stairs with ease, travel without worry, and play with your grandchildren. And research backs this up. Studies show that the ability to rise from a chair without using your hands is a predictor of both independence and longevity. In other words, by training your legs, you're not only protecting yourself from falls, you're investing in more healthy years of life. If this message speaks to you, I encourage you to share it with someone you care about, because too many seniors are silently struggling with weak legs. And let me know in the comments. Do you feel your legs getting weaker, or have you already tried sit to stand or other strengthening exercises? Your story could be the very thing that inspires someone else to take action. And finally, don't forget to subscribe for more senior health tips every week with me, Dr. Thomas. Together, we'll keep you stronger, sharper, and healthier at any age.